Alright guys, so PlayStation just released a 30th anniversary of content and themes for the PlayStation 5 to celebrate PlayStation's 30th anniversary as a brand. And that is right, my fellas. PlayStation as a console, as a brand, has officially been around for 30 total years. And Sony has brought some nice limited time stuff for the PlayStation 5, including some classic PlayStation console themes that we are going to be showing you guys and whatnot. So if you are wondering what the PlayStation themes are, well, if you boot up your PlayStation 5 for the first time after that new, or I should say recent new software update that the PlayStation 5 just got, you will be booted to select what PlayStation brand, or PlayStation generation console I should say, is your favorite, and it will be a certain theme for that particular console. But if you canceled it because you were just so quick to get into game, or possibly you may not even got it, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go over here to settings, and then up top here is where it says PlayStation 30th anniversary, and right here we're going to show you. Now it says for a limited time you can change parts of the PlayStation 5 design based on your favorite generation of PlayStation. Select a design to apply to your home screen and other areas. Now, it definitely does suck that this is only a limited time type of feature. I personally do think that this should be something that Sony should just keep as a PlayStation 5 only feature and maybe add it to the PlayStation 6. But honestly, I think this should be a feature only just for the PlayStation 5 console itself. So that way, if people ever go back on there, it'll be a nice feature to remember, hey, PlayStation turned 30 years old around this time. This is a nice celebration for PlayStation being 30 years old as a brand. But minus all that, if you go to here, you will be granted with 5 different themes. You will be granted with a 30th anniversary, which basically changes the color of the background theme, and then also when you got your menu put up, it's got a nice background to it. But also, you got PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and as well as PlayStation 4. And it says, based on your favorite PlayStation console generation, ours is definitely going to be the PlayStation 4, because I honestly just like the bluish background and just what this looks like. Honestly, I just think it honestly looks pretty dope. I personally love the PlayStation 4, and I still play our PlayStation 4 Pro quite often because the PlayStation 4 just has a great library of games, and the controller is our favorite PlayStation controller of all time, even though I have really been liking the PlayStation 5 controller just as well. But whatever console generation is your favorite, you can pick to whatever theme that you honestly want, or you don't have to use this feature and you could just leave it completely off on the normal PlayStation 5 dashboard. But we'll start off with the 4 PlayStations to give you an idea and show you what the sound effects and what the themes actually look like when you use them. So we're going to go to PlayStation 1, and then with that, you're going to be basically booted with a gray background in the settings menu. But if you go over here, you can listen to the sounds. So listen to the sounds real quick of what it sounds like. So that is from the PlayStation 1 sound effects that you get with the PlayStation 1, especially when you are basically looking for a memory card and going through some save files. That's the sound that you would get. Now, we're going to go over to PlayStation 2, probably the one that most PlayStation fans are probably going to be picking, because the PlayStation 2 just was so popular and it had a huge catalog of games, and the PlayStation 2 also is the #1 most sold console with over 160 million consoles sold worldwide. But let's go to this one and listen to what the sound effects that the PlayStation 2 has. So that is what the PlayStation 2 sounds like. And I also forgot to do this with the PlayStation 1, but this is what the options, or the half home screen I should say, looks like with the PlayStation 1. So that's what that looks like. And then we'll go back to there. This is what the PlayStation 1 basically dashboard looks like. And then now we'll go back to the PlayStation 2. And this is what the PlayStation 2 menu looks like. And the PlayStation 2 menu definitely does look pretty darn sick, because if you look up top, you got the blocks of like the startup screen, and then you got that little like whatever on the menu selection of memory card or system configuration, where it's got all of those light bulbs or whatever wrangling in a circle. I think that that's probably the one that PlayStation fans are going to want the most, is the PlayStation 2. Now, let's actually show you what the PlayStation 3 one does. So with the PlayStation 3, you're basically going to be booted up with a grayish, darkest background, but take a hear of what it's going to sound like. Pretty darn sick, ain't it? For the PlayStation 3. Honestly, this is also a really good one. So the PlayStation 3 is another great one, especially with this background. And now we're going to boot up this. And just look at that. It almost feels like you're playing on a PlayStation 3. Doesn't it? Does it or does it not feel like a PlayStation 3? Which I truthfully think it does. Now, for the last one, our personal favorite of the PlayStation generation of consoles, the PlayStation 4. And this is what it looks like and what it also sounds like as well. So, also, pretty hectic, ain't it? This actually does make you feel like you're playing on a PlayStation 4, even though you're on a PlayStation 5. And the PlayStation 4 kind of still gets supported by Sony, and it's still a really popular console. It's actually Sony's second most popular home console of all time. And just by looking at this is what I really like about it, especially when you look at the backgrounds of like the menu here. I just like the blue and all this, and then going into the settings, the blue background. And honestly, the PlayStation 4's theme is my favorite. So honestly, I personally like the PlayStation 4 one. But you also got a 30th anniversary one if you decide you want to see the celebration of that. But with this, you can pick whatever PlayStation console generation is your favorite, so that way when you're playing your PS5 and going through your menu, you can feel like you're back to playing like one of these consoles that you played back in the day. So honestly, I think that this is a very nice feature that Sony did add, however, to the PlayStation 5 for the 30th anniversary. But sadly, it's only going to be for a limited time, unless PlayStation fans actually beg them to keep this as a only feature for PlayStation 5 consoles. And honestly, I hope they honestly do, because honestly, just allowing us to pick a PlayStation generation theme that we want, that's just Like, honestly, that makes me want to play my PlayStation 5 even more just because of that right there. So, yeah. The PlayStation 30th anniversary of each of the console generations with their themes, and then you hear in the sound effects that the consoles had, is a really nice, awesome feature for the PlayStation 5. And I personally do think that Sony should actually keep this for PlayStation 5 users, and then maybe add it to PlayStation 6. But honestly, at that point, I would probably just want to keep it as a only PlayStation 5 feature, because it being the 30th anniversary and this only happened during the PlayStation 5's life cycle. So, yeah. So this is what it sounds like. As you can hear the sound effects from each of the console generations, it's just honestly really cool when you really think about it. But yeah, I think most people are probably going to pick the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 4 because those were two most popular Sony consoles of all time. So yeah, just figure I would make a YouTube video to show you guys this because I found this last night and then thought about making a video today, and man, this is honestly pretty darn sweet for a PlayStation 5 user. So if you enjoy this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll keep you posted with more content going forward. And let us know in the comment section down below of how much you like this feature and which PlayStation console generation did you pick and was your favorite out of the 4 PlayStations. So just let us know in the comment section down below of what your favorite PlayStation generation was, whether if it's PlayStation 1, 2, 3, or 4, or if it's 5, but which one did you pick for the theme. So just let us know in the comment section down below what your favorite one was, and we will see you guys on the next video. So catch y'all later. Hope you enjoyed it.